You guys are degenerates. What is going on? I can't get away from me. Friday night, market's closed. One of these days, market's not going to be closed. What you guys drinking tonight? Picked up a kind of random bottle here. A 7-year black as my soul. Jim Beam. Drinking the worries away from this week. This week has been something else. Something else. We'll get into it. But first of all, you guys like the thumbnail here? Dude, I have too much fun with this. The marquee tool. All you do here is drag. Yeah, I'm no good at this. You just drag on the image, and then you do a AI generative fill. Typed in stock market alcoholic. And for one, that arm is not my arm. That drink is not my drink. None of this is mine. The AI takes over, and it is too fun. The guidelines. Stock market alcohol worked earlier. MG and coin. MG, what time is it over there, man? You are up. Oh my god, guys. Photoshop is too much fun. Give me something to type in here. These thumbnails are too much fun to make. Give me something to type in. Coin, how'd you do this week? I was red pretty much the entire week, Coin. Yeah, this week was kind of hard, man. I could have taken profits on the green side. But I don't know. Today could have been fairly green. But I've been trying to work them, Coin. Been trying to work the green trades, and they just... No, I've been mainly shorting, which, honestly, the shorts have not worked this week. 3:30 a.m. MG. Drinking some coffee at 3:30 a.m. All right, let's type in... Dude, that ain't gonna work here. All right, Backside Boys. I have no clue what's gonna come up with Backside Boys. That is not according to the guidelines, Kayvon. Give me something to type in here. Let's do like stock market crash. See what comes up. So, Coin, you were red and green at the same time. Beautiful. Stock market crash. Yes. I guess since they know I'm a short seller, I'm pumped up for this. Dude, this AI stuff's too much fun. It's so easy to make these thumbnails these days because of this. I literally just crack up making this. Dude, what am I doing? I look like Stephen Hawking's. No, my nub. Yeah, this is too fun. Isn't that crazy, man? Yeah, that's Photoshop. It's too easy. Oh, guys. Give me something to type in there and I'll do it. I gotta keep making some thumbnails. Do bigger muscles. Let's try it. Come on, as a trader, I gotta have some bigger muscles here. Give me bigger muscles. Kayvon, what you trying to say? I mean, they did thin me out a little bit. They did thin me. I didn't say give me that. Oh my God. Where did they come up with this? Okay, one of these days you guys are getting just a different person, apparently. Give me bigger muscles. Just apparently they said, Kevin, we can't put those muscles on you, but we'll give you somebody with muscles. All right, that's too funny. Net red on the week unless next Friday puts print, but not looking likely at the moment. Market hit the brakes on every single dip. Man, thanks, Coin. Bigger arms than me. Coin, what are you up to this Friday night? Just hanging with the fellas. Yeah, I mean, this week was just look. If I get and Kayvon knows this, I need one trade to work out. Dude, I was sizing into Lyft today. If Lyft would have worked out, dude, that would have been payday. I'm going to take, what I'm going to be doing is taking half off, so I'm at least making something, sizing into it. I think you were mentioning that, came on a little bit earlier on. Sizing into it on pops, and then, taking money along the way versus just kind of praying that I get the fate of a lifetime. All right. Stock market dump. Let's see what we get. You going to bed? Oh, joining us for just 5 minutes. 7 a.m., so lights out. I got you. Yep. I got you. Look how unbelievable that is. I'm going to highlight my face. Make me sexy. See what comes up. Okay. All right. Okay. Isn't that amazing, though? I mean, the Photoshop generative AI is next level. Telling you, Kayvon, get it. Get it for your thumbnails. All right, so we got PLTR on the Great Short. Yeah. Yeah, what did she come out with? Those really good earnings, but she's put in such a move, right? Did she come out? She came out with the earnings, right? PLTR. Could be a sloppy seconds move here, Coin. Tapped 125 twice. Curling on them back around up there. 105 up to 116. Just not a very sustainable move. Yeah. What did we see into the close today? Kayvon, ABTS. What in the world? ABTS, we went from like $3 up to 10 into the zombie hour. Of course, no news there. Yeah, these Kayvon, you ended the week probably green, didn't you? You had a few good green days. Not a huge short percentage there on that as well. Well, Coin, I hope the softball game goes well. Cheering for her. Are you taking part in it? You got like are you pitching? I know, dads get involved in the games as far as taking on some roles and responsibilities, especially if they're volunteer roles. Uh, yeah, and then this NXTT was a play that was they came out with news today that they were they have ownership in some Bitcoin. They have like 5,833 Bitcoins. 28 cents up to 567. Unbelievable. Green the rest. Yeah, yep, yep. Good, good. Margarita in the building. Margarita, thought about you today. I was wondering how you've been doing. Haven't seen you in the chat in a while. How are the days going for you? You staying good and green? All right, let's put a handlebar mustache on me. We've been playing around in here with these thumbnails. Give me a large mustache. Let's see what Photoshop will do. I mean, it gave me a mustache. There you go. Coin, you're done coaching. It's a tournament, so I'll be drinking White Claws out of my Yeti. All right, Coin. So how active are you in these games as a parent? Are you on the sidelines just screaming and cursing at the other team and the other little kids? F you, Timmy! Coin gets into it. I was on the phone with him the other day, and he was in some traffic, and he can get heated. I could just hear the frustration. Could hear the middle finger. I could see it, visualize it. Just throwing that out there. Marguerite, it's been a minute. Was on an extended vacation. Nice. Need to save some cash instead of blowing the account. I'm right there with you. I could take a vacation in a non-blown account. So I feel it. I get it. Where'd you go on vacation? Enjoy ya in the house. Hey, we got the crew in here. We got the crew. Everybody's here tonight. Friday nights are hot. Friday nights are just hot. That's where it's at. The Friday night crew, where we go over our trades. Guys, throw out some trades. Let me know what you were trading. Right now, we're just hanging out, having a good time, having a drink. This is the Friday night live stream where I make some, we just have some fun in here. And I show you guys how to make thumbnails with Photoshop if you are going to start a YouTube channel. Stock market alcohol. Let's see what pops up. Okay. Looks like a bottle of pickle juice. God, they shrunk my arms right there. Jesus. Joseph in the building. What emoji is that? Margarita's over at C-Pro. Very cool. Oh, that's a cool one. That's a cool thumbnail right there, too. Is telling you guys, Photoshop's where it's at. Getting hot in here, Coin. Yeah, I'm feeling it. You coached 10 years, so you know what that's like to have crazy parents. So I'm laid back and just chill. Pitch in to help where I can. Sombrero. All right, let's give me a sombrero. Put a sombrero on my head. Thumbnails back in the day used to take forever on YouTube. Nowadays, it's a click of a button and you're done. Just have a little... Have some creativity to know what you're going to type in there. Oh my god. This is too much fun. Margarita C Pro. Cool. Yeah, we still need to get some we still need to get a couple things going. Trails. I'm gonna message them this week, Margarita. We need some trails going on over there. That would help me out. Let's take profits and then set the trails. That's what we need to do. Trails are now. All right, let me give me some tequila. Put some tequila in my hand. Put tequila in my hand. Let's see if Photoshop can work its magic. Yeah, we need trails. You know, look, I don't know what's going on. Got some guy mean mugging me in the background with like, what is going on here? Hey, that looks like a good bottle of tequila though. Yes, we need trails. Uh, you bartended for Jeff Bezos, yeah. Let me generate that again. So what's cool here is I can generate it again. Let's see what else populates. I was not expecting Bezos to appear in the background. That's what kind of threw me off there. Man, this thing is awesome. All right, let's generate it again. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bartender. People are tuning in and they're like, what in the hell is going on over here? I am jumping out. All right. Yeah. Let's get serious for a second, guys. Cheers. Yeah, it was. This week was just not fun for me at all. In fact, I was honestly like I was topping off the account, and I paper traded a couple days, and I was so glad I paper traded because oh my god, no, every time I press the button, I don't know. I wasn't trading with confidence this week. I mean, every time I took my positions, I'm like, Trump's about to tweet something and I'm going to get stopped out. That's pretty much how it felt. Yeah, the Adobe AI is awesome. I mean, it saves so much time doing that. Yeah, this week was just not fun for me. You know, and we have these ebbs and flows, and that's just the way it goes. But once, and I'm still going to take the edge. Once the trades start swinging in the other direction, it's going to be game on. Been very happy with a couple things. Pretty much just not happy that a couple of the tickers I've been trading haven't been cooperating. That's all. But otherwise, happy with the discipline and the sizing in. I think, Kayvon, you saw that today. Sized into a position that I need to do, even if it didn't work today. So being the process oriented, not results oriented. Sizing the winners. I'm sticking to the rules and doing fine there. Just haven't got a good winner going. Great traders are profitable because they have mastered managing uncertainty. I'll repeat that again. Great traders are profitable because they have mastered managing uncertainty. I was actually, look, my wife's got to get tired of hearing me talk about stocks. I try to not, because I don't know. Who wants to hear about their spouse's work after the fact, you know? I can't contain myself, hence the Friday night live stream. I got to scratch this itch somehow. So you guys are getting the brunt of it. In most career paths, now I'm getting all philosophical. You guys are trying to like relax, unwind, and go to sleep. I've discussed this before, and her field of study is nursing, and that's her career. But I was just explaining like what makes trading so difficult for so many. And again, this whole week last Friday night, there were so many people in here that were discussing just horror stories. We had an AA meeting last Friday, and there were a lot of blow-ups. And I've seen a lot since then. In fact, RGC, I think, is still blowing up people. Let me take a look. Dude, who is trading this? Look how illiquid this is. This is something Kayvon would trade. It looks like a QR code. So illiquid. This thing is 240 up to 352 today. But yeah, horror stories on that. Horror stories in general. I mean, on X, you're going to see everybody's talking about their profits. There's a lot of horror stories out there, though. And more so than you would, that most would care to. In fact, I typed in Traders Anonymous just on Google for the hell of it, and I found on Reddit there were so many traders that were looking for a group. Pretty much what we're doing here tonight. Degenerates, they're like, I've lost so much money. Help. Yeah, there's always it's tough. It's tough. So what I was explaining to her, but let me digress here, because when I drink, I can get on side tangents. On that note, cheers. Don't get me on side tangents. So in most career paths and line of work, you have, let's say nursing. I was given this example. What makes trading so unique is you have got to be convicted in your approach. The dichotomy is it's so interesting here, because you have to be convicted in your approach, yet you have to be so detached from the outcome. And you can't do that in any other field. We've had many different, Okay, Kayvon's in HVAC. Let's take that for an example. Or you have Bob, who's in electrical work. In any of these lines of work, it's like somebody's AC stops working in the middle of the summer. Your job is to fix that and provide them their AC, right? So you go and you do that, and you pretty much what the job is and the end result is going to be. But with trading, you pretty much have to take your edge, but assume that the AC is not going to get fixed. You have to expect the unexpected. That's what makes it so difficult. You have to go into it saying, I know that my goal is to fix the HVAC unit right now, but I have to expect that there actually may be, I don't know, HVAC flaws, but what could happen is, in the HVAC world, this thing could just short circuit, or it could blow up, yada yada. This could backfire real quick. You have to expect that the worst can happen and face the adversity, pretty much. You have to go into it expecting the unexpected and managing the uncertainty of the outcome. That's what makes trading so unique. So I told you guys are gonna get me on a tangent. Uh, there's no secret sauce to it. It just requires, and this is very important. You're not. What makes traders great is not their ability to see the future. I'm malfunctioning. I probably am. Coin, you're right. I am the HVAC unit. They don't win because they can see the future. You win because you are certain of what you will do as a trader in the present moment when you're faced with the uncertainty. You're not successful because you can rub your crystal balls. Some of you have got, let me be a gentleman. There's some ladies in here tonight. Some of you think you got a crystal ball to rub. Keeping it PG. But in fact, you don't. What you need to do is recognize that anything can happen. Coin, you're such a hot mess. Zero expectations. They will wreck you. You don't know the distribution between your wins and your losses. All right, I'm going to catch up. She would love to hear if you had $10,000 days. Yes, she probably would enjoy that. Because she would be planning how to, well, yeah. Honey, if you're watching this, I love you. She's not watching this, so I can be honest with you guys. She'd be planning how to spend that money. Enjoy her. Same way my girlfriend entertains me, but I try not to because I know she really could care less when I'm talking about it. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, when you have the guarantee, the stress goes away. Yeah. Yep. It's unfortunate that in this trading space you really need to not trade the sacred money, and that's when you'll find more success than not, is when you're not trading because you have to. Man, I remember when I was first getting involved in this space. Dude, so many scams out there. It's a tough space, man. There's a lot of scammy stuff out there. You gotta be careful. I just thankfully I did not sign up for this service that was many thousands of dollars. And the guy on the other end of the phone. That's what I was getting when I was getting into this space. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about stocks. So it's just, you have somebody that you kind of attach to, right? And then you try to learn from them, as most do when they are introduced into this space. And yeah, they were like, put like, $10,000 on a credit card. It'll be paid off in a month or two, from our alerts. Dodge that bullet. MG's got his coffee and he's ready to hear about the history. I mean, I can go into it. I'm not going to provide names, but I can get into it. I mean, you guys can easily guess. But I'm not going to provide names. Oh, Bob. Bob's grinding, guys. Give it up for Bob. He's been doing real well with his trading. He's hustling. He's doing very well. Man, Bob, I'm so impressed by your work ethic. I believe, Bob, you're an electrician by trade. You trade by choice. You deliver pizzas. You just pretty much do everything you can to grind it out to see success here. And Bob's had some good trades this week. I mean, he nailed VEEE the other day. I mean, he rode that thing up from like $5 or $6 up to $8 or $9. Bob's making the dough. Love it. Yeah. I got trapped in a boiler room call. Hey, my history, look, I don't have enough wrinkles for the history that I do have in this space because I'm the one that called out Jason Bond picks. I'll say his name because his ass should have been in jail for that shit. I'll be honest about that. Somebody's going to clip that, send it to the SEC. But look, the FTC went after him because I saw that before it happened, made a video on it, and I could have gotten in trouble in that doing that, but I smelled that out. That video got like 60,000 hits, something along that line. Look, I've been a man of the people in this space. I have been. I've called that stuff out when I've seen it. I can smell it from a mile away. Some of you don't even know who he is. But back in my day, back in the good old days, that was the only ad. Thankfully, thank God for YouTube Premium. But back in the day, especially if you had ads, all you got was Raging Bull this, Raging Bull that, Jason Bond pick, sign up for my stock alerts. You know, that's all you got. But I'm telling you guys, a little trick out there is most of the ones that are advertising to get you into a chat room, you are the product. You are the product. That's why they're advertising. What does that mean, Kevin? Think about it. Look, I'm a few bourbons in. Just think about it. It's way easier to deceive people than to convince them they're being deceived. And the older guys will know what I'm talking about. Younger generation, not so much. Cheers, gentlemen. Yeah, I can't. I can't go down the rabbit hole. But just know this: if anybody ever comes after me, I've done my homework. I got a whole folder of pretty much everybody out there. Come at me. Come at me. Cause most of them are deceptive as hell. So, come at me. But I stick to that train of thought and that wisdom. You know, it's in general, you know, if it's just we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not that drunk. I ain't that drunk. Kayvon would sell out in a heartbeat. Selling out is easy. Just lie to everybody. That's the price. Yeah, I mean, look. You guys get what you get in here. I mean, I see some guys that flaunt massive profits, and I know it's just all BS. You know, it's just they're trying to collect memberships and whatnot. It is what it is. I've talked to them even, and I know that's their whole strategy and what they do. I gotta walk in a line of integrity. That's something I came face to face with. Not, you know, I got to do what I think's right. Plus, it may not seem like it because I'm drinking bourbon, but I'm somewhat of a spiritual man. So, The life is short. You gotta walk the path that you. I don't know. I mean, if you think deceiving people and effing people over is the right way for you to go because you're money driven, then so be it. But that's not what drives me. I could do this for free because essentially I do. But that's what they say. Find what you love to do and it's never work. Just help the next person out who's coming up. Been doing this for years. I know I can help the next person out. At least not blow up. What a lot of people hear from me is not marrying a ticker, not going all in here, I can go over lesson on lesson on lesson to pretty much help you find your edge and not trade any kind of certainties and defining your trades by one trade. I can help you out pretty much with anything as far as your trading goes. But trading is still hard. To trade is to struggle. That's essentially like the definition of it. To trade is to struggle. The guys selling the courses in the chat rooms and all that, they want you to think that there's this one indicator and one strategy and one edge that is like the holy grail. If you know this, you're good, you're gung ho. You're set. You're set on your trading. You're good to go. But it's never that way. No matter how long you do this, nobody in this room right here, right now is going to say, this one system has, this is exactly the way. Because that's actually, in fact, a small part of it. The system and the edge. Yes, you need an edge. Yes, you need an edge in trading, but it's a small part of it. I would go as far as to say, and feel free to disagree with me. I'm happy to have this conversation. For those that have been trading for a while, feel free to disagree. Last week, Coin and I were jabbing at each other. So, Coin, if you're still in here, let's go at it. Look, 25% maybe is the edge, roughly. 75% is you managing yourself in the trade. I'm telling you guys, you gotta listen to me when I say this. If you can learn to create a state of mind that's unaffected by what the ticker that you're involved with is doing, the struggle for you is going to cease to exist. Marguerite, I don't know if I have an addiction or just love trading these rug pulls. I love the rug pulls so much. That's what I trade for, so maybe I do have an addiction. It's okay, guys. I'm here to stay. You got me. You got me for life. I'm addicted. It is what it is. I try to manage the addiction. But who knows? Look, if I'm trading a small account when I'm 80, so be it. You guys got me. I got 80 years of experience behind me. Trading is easy if you go on Twitter. It definitely is. Everybody's flaunting their profits. And it's you don't want to fall into the trap of envy because then you're going to start... for one, the guys you're envying are paper trading. Let's just start there without me saying names. The guys you envy are going to be paper trading. And then even if they're not, what you're going to do is become envious to the point where you're not going to be content with the profits that you're making. So you're going to oversize and leverage, which is going to create an increased bias. And then that's going to cloud your judgment. You're going to make mistakes mid-trade or adjust your risk parameters mid-trade. It's going to cause problems. Trade the size that's appropriate for your account. Trade the size that's appropriate for your account. Your size is the volume dial for your emotions in the trade. You want to kind of minimize that volume dial, so because when you do that, you're trading with less emotions in the trade. Less emotions equals objectivity. Objectivity equals profits. I'm trying to think of something else better to say, but I mean, if you're trading impartially on a ticker, you see things very clearly. You stop out well. You do stop out well, which I've been doing very well out here lately. Stopping out well. I don't know. I need to change my name to the damn like stop out king or something. I don't know. And stop. I trust myself to not blow up on one trade. I do trust myself not to blow up on one trade. I'm very happy about that. I know I'm not doing it. I know I'm not marrying a ticker and blowing up on one trade. Very rigid with that. There's not going to be one outlier trade for me that I'm going to blow up on. I know I don't have to worry about that. So I am thankful there. And I've been holding the winners pretty well. But since I started this new account, it's been like 4 or 5 trades I've been in. I just haven't had one that's worked continuously for me. So that's been the problem there. But I'm good. I'm good on those fronts. Yes, enjoyer. Discipline is more important than an edge. Discipline is what kills more accounts than anything. Hey, enjoyers got it. Discipline, yes. Kills more accounts than the strategy or lack of. Yes. That is absolutely right. The greatest enemy of a good trading strategy is the dream of a perfect trading strategy. You have to manage uncertainty well, and it's going to take years. Bob, are you still delivering pizza? How do you contain yourself from just taking a bite out of that? God, that deep dish. Cheesy. I don't know how you do it, Bob. I'd be delivering pizzas that had like one slice missing. I'd be like, shit, sorry guys, look, this is a large pizza, but they forgot to add it. They forgot one slice. Sorry about that. Kayvon, size is tough to figure out, and typically smaller accounts have to take relatively big size. Yeah, that one's tough. That one's really tough. Yeah, I think we learned that with the small accounts, you have to at least size into the winners. That's going to make the difference on the account. So I'm trying to work that out right now. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. The problem I will say for a lot of guys starting out here is they will, and somebody mentioned this morning, is they will find like that one ticker. Okay, so by the way, somebody commented on one of my videos this morning and was like, I think it was one of the how-to videos. I was just demonstrating a platform or something. They said, I can't listen anymore. Your accent is too much for me. I read that and I was like, that is a first for me. Yeah. I haven't heard that one before. It's like, do I have that much of a southern accent? Somebody just can't stand it. I mean, that stuff doesn't bother me. I just found it humorous. Yeah. I mean, when I first started on YouTube, I was maybe more, I don't know, cared more about what people thought, I guess, than I do now. Pretty much I've heard it all at this point. See, you guys got me sidetracked. What was I about to say? Man, this NVVE end of day here, into after hours. Okay, yeah, so this is what I will say. I had a hunch about this and didn't take it. Kayvon's gotten used to the voice. So you're saying initially it was too much for you two, but you've just gotten used to it. I love trading the fake out breakouts on these things above the high day where the liquidity is. I mean, I had the hunch to take it, but it was like 330. Am I really going to take a short at 330? I mean, yeah, I kind of pretty much expected it to die out like it did into that liquidity, but I mean, what am I supposed to do here? It's 330. I have a rule: I don't hold anything overnight. It's too much. But you do see these often. I know it's a hindsight trade looking back, but you guys that have been with me for a while, you know I look for this. I look for the pop over the high. Can't make fun of them because I would have done the same thing first day. First day on the clock. Trading NVVE. Oh, it's only up 300%. Let's buy the breakout. Yeah, and Doug mentioned it one day too. If you're watching this back, Doug, that in my book I go over this. You know, I go over these bullish patterns being pretty much bearish. The only one that talks about that stuff. These bullish patterns becoming bearish when they're up hundreds of percent. I'm going to be not very optimistic about this thing working out when it's up from $1 to $3.50 and buying a breakout. That ain't going to be what I'm doing. If I'm buying that thing up at that much, it's going to be on a pullback. Not into a breakout where we know as we progress as traders, the big boys are looking for all their liquidity. We've gone over that before too. The big boys look for the liquidity up and over the high day levels, generally where stops would be. That's why it's not a bad idea to put your entries at your stops. I wish I would listen to myself with that sometimes. Put your entries at your stops. That way you're not... Yeah, don't get me started there. This is where I was going to go earlier. I was going to go to pretty much being that newer traders focus on entirely too much on individual trades. I can spot out a professional trader in an instant. I mean, just by lingo. Seriously, just by lingo. How they're talking. I can sniff out the experience in an instant. Well, pretty much all you have to say is, if you're telling me you're focused on like the leading gapper on the day, I mean that's a telltale sign. It's like, I mean, look, if that's your entire focus is the leading gapper every single day, it's just naturally going to be, and this is where I'm going to probably rub into some contention in here. It's just going to be hard to find consistency if you're focused on the leading gapper every day. Like, the guys that have been trained for a while back me up. It just is, because the edge is less probable. There's a lot more overcrowdedness and manipulation on those plays. So it just inevitably becomes more difficult to have an edge on those names. The more consistent traders that I've seen over time, they tend to trade not primarily the leading gappers. They expand their horizons on many different trades. So Kayvon remembers those days. Yeah, where you just... Yeah, so for those that's their focus, you know. Kayvon got his trade ideas from Yahoo. Yahoo, the biggest gainer and loser on the day. That's what I'm going to be trading. Yeah, yep. And we pretty much all started there. So for the newer guys, maybe that only been trading for a few months and that's your strategy, just recognize that that's probably, the longer you stay in this space, you're probably going to gravitate away from it. And try to understand it. Like, even if you think, like, no, I'm going to find consistency there on, like, the leading gapper of the day. Just understand what I'm telling you. There's just less of an edge on those names. Take ASST, for example. I mean, it's hard for me to avoid these because I do like to see what they're doing, but I don't really trade them. You guys don't see me trade these, but I do like to watch them just for entertainment purposes. Yeah, like ASST, I could see how trappy it was. Honestly, if I was going to take a trade here, it was going to be on the long side. But you know what? I like my tea sweet, not assy. So AST I avoided. This thing, I mean, descending triangle Wednesday, and then it just, we went over this so many times. Every time it looked like it like a good short. For those I've traded for a while, I mean, shorts in general, the guys who are short in these plays probably have more experience than the longs, but it did look good on the short side, and every time it looked good, it spiked up. So it felt trappy in that regard. But, I mean, that's what I'm telling you. It's difficult. I mean, okay, you can recognize the personality of it, and as far as that goes, and then take a long there, but still, I mean, I'd apply minimal risk to it because these inherently just involve more risk. They do not make very predictable plays. It's just the nature of them. So the longer you stick around, and I remember when I first started out, you know, I just was like, I'm so comfortable trading like the lowest float ticker of the day. In hindsight, it just sounds so dumb, doesn't it? For the more experienced guys in here, it's like, I'm only comfortable trading a ticker if it's like 1 million shares in the float. If it's gapping up with news, like it achieved like strategic accomplishments, phase 1, 2, or 3 trials, this and that, yada yada. Dude, I would listen into those earnings calls at like 6 in the morning. I was that dedicated. Like, I'm dedicated, man. I'm getting up early. I'm listening to the earnings call, and it would be like me and the CEO, and that was it. Nobody else on this earnings call. But I didn't recognize that longs actually need people to listen to these calls. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you have good news if nobody's buying it. There's thousands of tickers out there. If me and the CEO are the only ones that know about this news, and yeah, it comes out in the headlines, yada yada, but no chat rooms picking up on it. There's no volume in for it. Longs become a prediction. I mean, I'm getting involved with this early, but what does it matter if there's zero volume on it? I recognized very early on that volume was a key criteria for any edge. You'll hear that from the guys that have been here for a while. Volume is a critical. I mean, look, you got to have volume. If you don't have volume on your edge, I mean, the ticker can't move, whether it's up or down. There's no money to be made. The only money to make on a ticker is if the volume is moving one way or the other. That's how you make money, whether long or short side. It doesn't matter. That's not what I'm speaking on. What I'm speaking on is you have to have volume. So, okay, it'd be me and the CEO in on this call. I'd buy the ticker. Be like, look, that was a great earnings call, CEO, Mr. CEO. Look, I mean, I'm invested here. I'm going all in, 100 shares. And scooping this bad boy on up, zero volume, nothing there. It wouldn't move. So it doesn't. That's when I started coining the phrase fundamentals. I don't care what the news is. I don't care. So stop it on StockTwits and Twitter and wherever else you're telling me, but the news. I don't give a rat's ass what the news is. I'm kind of getting serious here because I really don't. I really don't care what the news is because the news, they're not cows that are trading. The news does not move the markets. Emotions move markets. Are you guys hearing me? Because I can get louder. I don't want to wake up my kids, but I can get louder. News does not move markets. See, you guys are getting to hear what my wife normally hears, but I get to scratch the itch now this way. Emotions are what move the markets. So guess what? Over time, I have focused on trading emotions. When you see, you identify the volume, you see where some good volume is. You identify key levels that other traders, it's psychological. You want to identify levels that maybe other traders are looking at, key levels of resistance support, and they're only resistance and support because other traders see it that way. It's all psychology. So you identify those levels. You see the ticker and the volume move in such a way that stops are getting triggered. The tape is flicking. You want to see like liquidity sweeps. I go over this all the time. You want to see big upper shadows, big lower wicks. You know at that point now the big players are getting involved because this is where the liquidity is. Oftentimes these tickers will move to a liquidity area where there's going to be a lot of liquidity. So that's up and over whole dollars, half dollars. That's up and over resistance levels. You see upper shadows and lower shadows at and above resistance, 250-day moving averages, or left of the chart looking at highs, 52-week highs and lows. Let's condense it even down to intraday or previous close. Those levels where you see the big upper wicks, lower wicks, you see the volume on the volume chart that has a very large increase in volume. That is where you'll have a high probability chance. I'm not going to say I always get involved in that area, but that is, I would like to. That is where you're going to have a high probability chance of having a successful trade, is getting involved with the big boys at those areas on the reversal. Enjoy the low float flushes are millions a day for yep. For the guys like us, it's not a lot. For them, it is a ton. I mean, you'll look at the volume chart and it'll be like, what was that ticker today? It was NXXT or NVVE. NVVE, oh my god. Like, I'm looking at it right now. At 940 on NVVE, I mean, it had over 12 million shares of volume. 12 million shares. That is a ton of money going through that play. Margarita out of here. Ciao. Good to see you, Margarita. Glad you had a good vacation and good to see you back. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next week. Yeah, Kayvon, emotional damage. It is what it is. I mean, that's what we've recognized, and we see that. MG, sometimes news gives you an idea to the longer short, like anything on those days related to Bitcoin. Yeah, we have seen. I mean, you're right about that this week. In what was it? In NXTT, Bitcoin related. ASST, Bitcoin related. It's pretty much like, and again, you're getting the idea of pretty much the week. What is hot this week? Anything Bitcoin related with these tickers. If it has that in the headline, that's pretty much all you need, right? That's pretty much all you need. Take along. Don't even look at the intraday price action or the patterns. Just take along. Pretty much all you need. In that this week's been a little tricky because of that. But yeah, that is a variable. I agree, MG. Definitely a variable because of what we've seen this week. So fundamentals, I think in general, I would consider fundamentals. But there are exceptions. Earnings is an exception. When certain sectors become hot, that's an exception. What you're referring to, Bitcoin's an exception. So there are exceptions, but what I generally am going to say in regards to that is, it's not the first thing I like to look at, because it used to be. It used to be the first thing I'd look at, and then it would increase the bias too much. I'd see the news and just fall in love with it and think, they're like, this thing is only going up. It had the best news ever. And maybe the news had already been vexed in, or maybe just not enough people had the news has reached to. I mean, the news inherently is not going to drive up the stock. It's got to have the volume. Volume is the top criteria for anything. And that's why I like to short, because shorting is reacting to current volume. That's why I've gravitated to shorting, because I don't have to predict. Anytime I'm looking at longs, I mean, a lot of the times, unless you're just buying pullbacks on these plays that may or may not work out, the shorts, I just am reacting to the tickers that are moving quickly towards resistance. And I can easily react to that and take the short. But yeah, this week's been very interesting with the Bitcoin play. So Bitcoin's up in general, and then a few of those tickers. Which, when trading, I mean, you gotta have rules, guys. I mean, you gotta know what to trade, what not to trade. We've gone over that many times. Trading is almost unlearning everything that you've learned in your life. Unlearning pretty much everything that you have learned. I mean, look, we can go deep into that if you guys want to. I'm getting hydrated, though, with some bourbon. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Unlearning everything that you have learned. And what do I mean by that? I mean, a lot of things I mean by that. God, I mean, we could dive so deep. I mean, for one, I've already talked about detaching yourself from the outcome. So, not expecting any results on the trade when in your entire life, based on your performance, you have expected something. Okay? So that's one. I mean, trading is such a difficult thing inherently. I'm the only one that will talk about this because I'm not trying to get you to sign up for a chat room. I will be honest with you. Which may not increase my popularity on YouTube, which I'm fine with. I've already told you guys I'm here for the integrity. I want to be very honest. But it's much like a lot of sports that are independent of team effort. So I'll like to compare it to golf, maybe even like mixed martial arts, maybe even racing. There's definitely a few that you can compare it to where the weight of everything is on your shoulders. It's just on your shoulders. You have nothing else to put the weight of in the burden of your trading on. You can try to blame the market and put the responsibility on it, but the market is just generating neutral information. The market's generating neutral information. It's not happy information. It's not sad information. It is literally just information. So that responsibility falls on you. And that's that's the beauty of it, but that's also why a lot of people stop trading, because they're ultimately responsible, and they realize that they come face to face with their own personal flaws. And trading gets rid of, I mean, the longer you stay in this space, if you want to be successful, you'll learn so much about yourself. That's what I love about it. You learn a lot about your flaws, what you're good at, what you're bad at, the lack of patience you have, the lack of discipline you have. You know, it goes on and on. And it goes deep. It goes deep. And trading will make you come face to face, put you in the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and you're going to be staring at a face of, let's be honest, I mean, despair, at times just going to be a major amount of grief. But then there are going to be times where you're very proud of yourself, especially if you come out on the other end of the tunnel. You know, the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train, that analogy, but you're going to learn so much about yourself in trading. That's what I like about it. You work on the parts of yourself that are not so great and some that are great. But that's why we do these Friday night live streams, because we want to be vulnerable with ourselves and with the community. That way we can grow as traders. So last week we heard a lot. It was a big Friday night live stream last week. We heard a lot about some traders that lost a lot of money. Many hundreds of thousands of dollars. And some that were in crippling debt and wanting to trade their way out of it. And look, you're in the right place. I'm going to be very honest with you when I hear about this kind of stuff. And I've heard everything. There's pretty much nothing I haven't heard in this space. I've witnessed pretty much every possible scenario, and they're all the good, bad, and ugly. So nothing really surpasses me. You're not going to surprise me if you're in here right now, for instance, and you know, you've refinanced your house and lost it because you're trying to trade. Nothing really surprises me. So that's what we're here for. There's been guys in here that have said they love this community because they don't feel shamed in admitting certain things, and that's what I want it to be about. We all have vulnerabilities and we all make mistakes. Trading is not Twitter. Trading is not the Twitter space where everybody's making $10,000 in 5 seconds a day. It's not that. So I don't even pretend like it's that. Bob had to run inside the pizza place. They feed us in-house for free. Let's go. They feed you in-house for free. I thought how you guys got fed good is somebody calls in discreetly, like one of the workers. So like you, Bob. You call in. Look, Bob's about to do this. All right, put your headphones on, Bob. I don't want you to get fired. What I've heard is somebody like you, Bob, you just, you get in your car, you call in like a hell of a order. Like, let's do like an all-meat pizza. A few of those. Just make them 3. You just order a few different pizzas. You know where I'm going with this. You hang up and you no-show. And those 3 Meat Lovers pizzas are sitting on the hot rack for like 2 hours. Nobody gets them. And then you're saying, all right, look, this was a carry-out order. Nobody's coming in to get it. I'm not suggesting anybody do this. I'm just saying what I've heard other people do. So, the SEC of pizzas, this is for entertainment purposes. I'm not soliciting this. MG, you thought you were the only one who blew his account 100 times last year. Look, this is why this is an AA meeting right here. Traders Anonymous. Because again, last week we heard of traders losing hundreds of thousands of dollars and blowing up a ton of money. This is a safe space. This is good. I love, I'm fully transparent and honest with you guys, and you guys are as well. So MG blew up a bunch last year, and I'm sure you lost a bunch last year, but guess what? You also just withdrew money from your account. What was it, today? I heard you say that. So you've made improvements. The worst thing you can do is start with a very large account. They say the stock market makes rich people poor, poor people rich. The worst thing you can do is start with a ton of money. It's the worst. I highly advise against that, because when you're learning what not to do, you're going to blow up. I mean, I've given you guys all those quotes about Edison with the light bulb. He figured out 1,000 times how not to fail in order, it wasn't that he failed 1,000 times. He discovered 1,000 ways not to make the light bulb. Michael Jordan, he just lost a game-winning shot, 1,000 times. But without those losses, he would not have the 1,000 game-winning shots that he had. You do not succeed in this space without failing. It's just not possible. It's not possible in this space to succeed without failing, because you have to learn what not to do. There's so many things that you have got to not do. So, I mean, since we're on this topic, I can dive into some stories. Actually, Bob, I actually told you I was going to dive into some of these stories tonight, so I will. So when I first started trading, In 20, what year are we in? It's probably like 2016. I joined a few chat rooms, and I actually found some success because what I was doing was pretty much I was trying to get into the pumps before they pumped them, really. So I identify what multiple chat rooms were like trying to pump at the same time, some low float play, and I'd get involved with it. If it worked, I would try to ride it, but if it wasn't working, I'd get out pretty much immediately. So it was a quick L, which is the right way of thinking, right? You're like taking your stopping out quick or letting the winner run a little bit. So I found success in doing that with the chat rooms, but I was never like, I grew an account pretty well, but I was just never satisfied with the way I desired to be a trader. I did not want my trading to solely rely on like jumping into a pump, Like my whole strategy for trading is I need to be in a chat room that pumps a ticker on up. So I tried to get away from that. And that's when the real journey began for me. Of a lot of ups and downs, trying to pretty much learn how to be a consistent, profitable day trader without anything really. I mean, you're just trading charts. You find tickers with volume and trading those charts. And the struggle began because I actually went offshore after I grew an account from 1,500 to 5,000. I went offshore and I began over trading so much. Oh my God. So I was under PDT when I grew that account. I don't know how I did that. I just don't. Looking back, that was so difficult. I do not know how I grew an account taking 3 trades a week, and I grew it that well. That is yeah, I don't know. That's all it takes, I guess. All it takes is 3 good trades a week. So I need to remember that. Man, I'm actually impressed with that. Again, there was no real like methodology to it. It was just, oh, what are y'all pumping this morning? Let me just jump into it beforehand, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just not happy with. I want to be a trader. I've always desired to be a consistent day trader. That's been my goal. I've never had a dollar amount in mind. I've just tried my hardest for years to be a profitable day trader. That's it. I went offshore with that 5,000, and you guys can imagine what happened. I mean, it didn't take long to blow that up. All that hard work. Just over traded the hell out of everything. I mean, look, when you're under PDT and then the chains break free. When you're under PDT and the chains break free, you are like, you become a madman. I'm like, I've been chained up with 3 trades a week. I'm ready to trade. Apparently, Bob, I was making the right trades. But again, it was not my trades. That was the problem. It's tough. Yeah, but going like large size on that. I mean, some traders definitely do that. They'll sign up to all those chat rooms and figure out what they're pumping, and and then they'll just trade. I mean, they'll just trade with all the sheep. Thousands of traders. But I just wanted to be a successful trader. Not I didn't want to be. Didn't want to be a sheep. Let's just put it that way. MG, when I said wait till the trade comes to you, you have been very happy with your performance. So you were getting involved a little too early, I'm guessing, with the tickers. I'm having a little issue with that myself here lately, so I'm going to try to heed to that advice too, letting the trades come to you. Yeah, because you can FOMO into the long or short side, and I've realized that. Even on the short side, I can FOMO into it. And Bob, what made you start shorting? So I was in a room with my mentor, who I love dearly, and he pretty much only shorts. He'll take like a YOLO long small share size position on some of these lower flip plates that pop up in the morning with a huge short interest or something. He'll take like a small position, considers it house money, but he's got like $1 million account, and what he's doing is essentially shorting euphoria into oblivion. Like, he will, into that euphoria, he will short. Let's just say he's planning on many thousands of shares into this position. He'll start with like a few hundred, and then if it continues higher, he'll add a few hundred. Like, let's say it's a ticker that goes from like, and these happen every single day. It'll be a ticker that goes from like, I don't know, $10 to $15. At 15, he'll throw a few hundred shares in it. At 16, maybe a few hundred more. 17, he pretty much just keeps adding into it after it's already made that euphoric move. And he's got a 90+% win rate. In fact, I hardly saw him ever have a red day. So shorting the euphoria, I started to lean into the idea of, okay, I think that there's something here with the shorting. And actually, a lot of the best traders out there do short. They do gravitate towards shorting eventually. And look, we can get into that. I know there's some, like Kevon, he takes the long and short side of it. This week, everything's pretty much been all long that you pretty much can get your hands on. From what I've seen with shorting is just, when you first start trading, shorting is a daunting thing to do. It's kind of scary. I remember that feeling when I would think about shorting. I'd be like, I don't know if I want to do that. You can lose an unlimited amount of money, yada yada. I mean, your broker is going to liquidate you. Not going to lose an unlimited amount. Your broker is going to liquidate you once you get to a certain level. But we can go into those horror stories too. I have heard of those horror stories where the broker did not liquidate somebody in an overnight position. The ticker literally skyrocketed. I mean, they may have had a stop in place, but I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars somebody lost in a short. So I don't know. I was always nervous about the shorts when I first started, but the longer I traded, the more I realized that they were just easier in general, in my opinion, because the fear of missing out is a very potent fear. We've gone over the 4 trading fears before with you guys, and long traders, usually I would say 90+% of traders start out gravitating to the long side. I think it's the natural psychology of it. Traders in general want to. The human nature is something I focus on a lot, and human nature in general, the psychology behind things, suggests that traders in general desire. It's normal human behavior to root. You want to root for companies to succeed and do well and go up. I think when you get involved with trading, most people they want to see companies succeed, like tickers to move up. But the longer you trade, the more you realize that is just not the nature of it. And you understand that that fear, and traders when first start out, we've all experienced this when we first start out, the fear of missing out is more potent than many of the other fears in general. And what do I mean by that? Or what are the implications on the tickers that I'm speaking on? Well, I talk about the elevator down very often because we see that. Let me show you. This trade today, NVVE, I had a hunch, an inkling to take a short on this high a day break. After the ticker's already up 350%, we get the high a day break, elevator down, and we fade pretty much from there, 355 to 150. So for the long bias traders that are involved in something like this, the longs oftentimes are fairly, let's just say they'll go deer in headlights. They'll buy a ticker on a breakout that's already up multiple hundreds of percent, deer in headlights, and shorts just take the money all the way down. I mean, the fear of missing out is so potent for newer traders buying these tickers up, and oftentimes they just don't have risk in mind. They're just, a lot of these traders are spinning the wheel. They're just profit oriented. They're profit focused to the point where there's pretty much, they inherently are seeing no risk. You guys know very well when I'm entering a trade, like I'm always considering risk. If I get into this on a short, if I get in this on a long, like what is the favorable risk reward outcome here? What does that look like? I'm saying, generally speaking, newer traders, they want to long tickers more than short them, and then they go deer in headlights more so than not. They don't follow any risk parameters at all, going deer in headlights, analysis by paralysis, and the fear of missing out is probably the most potent fear, and because that's the most potent fear, we see the most potent effect of that displayed on the ticker. I don't know if that makes a lick of sense at all, but that's pretty much my roundabout answer to that question. What's your opinion on Ross Cameron? I'm not going to speak on anybody directly. What I will say is I think it's... I'm inspired by his work ethic and his desire and love for this sport. But in general, for not him directly, I'm speaking in general to the gurus out there that are focused on the low float penny stocks, I think it's a disservice to the newer traders. There may be a reason why certain ones of them owed via the FTC millions of dollars because so many people were blowing up. Let's put it that way. Focusing entirely on the riskiest plays every single day and making it look so easy. That comes with a price. Let me just leave it at that. But again, not speaking on him directly. But there's a lot out there that focus entirely on the low float tickers, and I'm very much against that for reasons that I've suggested here in the chat tonight. They're 90+% of traders that focus entirely on the lowest float, biggest percent gainer on the day are not going to be profitable. What will be profitable is if you trade 20,000 shares for 5 cents and, say you made $1,000 on the day and get signups for a chat room. That is profitable for a scalp. MG used to jump in a little early. Shorting is easier. Yeah. Many times I take some trades with small size in the morning and then leave it and cover it at the end of the day, and always you're profitable. That's awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Look, most of the time there's a lot of tickers that are gapping up too, like you're suggesting, MG. It's not a bad idea to take a very small position and widen out the risk a bit. And in the day, a large percentage of them actually close lower on the day. Mr. Carter in the building. Carter, what are you doing this Friday night? Yeah, we're just we're hanging out, having a good old time in here. Traders Anonymous. We're hanging out, just chilling, talking, helping each other out, sharpening that iron, going over the week, going over any problems, flaws, successes, everything, doing it all. Yeah, enjoyer. Yeah, you nailed it, enjoyer. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Not losing money. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't join you tonight on that. This week was not too great for me, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was manageable. It was manageable this week. Just I couldn't get much going. But very manageable. I'm happy with the trades. Let's put it that way, Carter. It was a red week, but I am happy with them. It could have been green looking back, but I would rather take the red because I would have been green not following my rules. I want to let these trades pan out and work out. So, yeah, I'm red following the rules, so I am happy ultimately with that. But yeah, you nailed it, enjoyer. I mean, it's... I don't want to dive too deep into it, but everybody's got their system. I think it's important for you guys. Good old black. The black Jim Beam. It's got like a bright caramel, rich oak, and vanilla. It's pretty good. It's important, I think, for everybody to, especially the newer guys, to learn from everybody. If you're new and you're only learning from the low float pump and dump chat rooms, it's just not like, learn from it, but expand your horizons a bit, because you're going to eventually anyways. Let's just put it that way. You're going to eventually. The longer you stick into the game, you will gravitate from that. It's your entire focus is not going to be the leading gap or penny stock forever. It will be initially, but not forever. But yeah, it's been a fun fun chat tonight. I'm glad I did it. Just be mindful of these plays, guys, like NVVE, the fake out, breakout, all the way back down nearly, giving everything back. One thing that I've been trying to focus on, I'm going to make it a priority this week, is trying to put my entries at pretty much the stop loss area, because that's where the liquidity is. So NVVE, the liquidity was at the fake out, breakout high a day. That was a good area to put a stop, or the entry would be at pretty much where that stop would be. And it worked great from there all the way back down, so on the short side. Any questions at all, guys? Had a decent chunk of people here today in the Traders Anonymous. Last week, again, I said it was a great Friday night live stream as well. We're going to do these pretty much, weekly or bi-weekly. Going to be going over, I'll stay on here as long as you guys are around. There's 16 of you in here right now. If you guys want to stay up all night, we can. I got to wake up with my kids pretty early on, but it's been a good live stream. I'm here to answer all your questions and to help you out in any way I can. But again, last week we had a lot of guys in here discussing their mini blow-ups. We had a very vulnerable Friday night live stream last week. It was healthy. It was, what do they call them? Interventions? It was like an intervention last week. So I don't mind having those. Honestly, this is a room many have spoken about being a non-patronizing room. We're here to help each other out. Your story is not going to be uncommon, so don't be afraid to ask for help. What I hate is for those that have such big aspirations of becoming successful day traders, but they're afraid to ask for help because all they're seeing is massive profits on Twitter and social media in general, and they feel like they're not good enough, that kind of thing. Well, just hear from me. You are good enough. It takes a community, though, that's going to help you reach your potential. And to trade, as we started, to trade is to struggle. To trade is to struggle. It's just part of it. If you're trading, you're pretty much struggling. It's not an easy path. Carter, you C-Meg, are you DOS Sterling or C-Pro? Enjoyer, you got to trade options. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me figure out equities first. Trying to work on not being frustrated with the trades too. If you're frustrated, what does that mean? It means you have expectations. You gotta eliminate the expectations. That's a mental representation of what you believe is actually going to happen, when in fact we don't know what's going to happen. That's what we've been discussing tonight, is we have no idea what's going to happen. You don't know the distribution between the wins and the losses on your account. You're trading the edge and the probabilities, not necessarily this one individual trade. You have great traders have mastered managing the uncertainty. They don't know the future. They just don't know the future. I try to just jam that into you guys' head and my own. the best traders, they don't know what's going to happen next. They can't see into the future. But guess what they do know? They do know what their reaction is going to be. They don't know what the market's going to do, but they know what their reaction to the market is going to be. And that's them trusting themselves in the face of that adversity is what creates a very successful trader. And if you can trust yourself to do that, bottom line performance is going to be impacted greatly. Carter, C-Pro screen is identical to yours. Sweet. Love it. Yep. Very cool. How's your trading been going this week, Carter? Doing my degenerate behavior right now and just flipping through tickers. But yeah, I want to jam in you guys' head. You just don't know what's going to happen next. So stop thinking you do. I mean, that's what kills a lot of newer traders. They get involved in that low float play of the day, so inherently, okay, there's already the bias. You know, it's like, okay, this low float play has got to continue, got to see continuation and spike up higher. Oversizing and leveraging on it. Don't marry a ticker. She ain't a stripper. They ain't loyal. You don't know what's going to happen next. Trade the distribution probabilities. Oh no, Carter. Is that a good well or a bad well? Oh boy. What were you trading? Dude, all you had to do was long any of these Bitcoin plays and you would have made money. That's all you had to do, Carter. You guys in here on a Friday night, Saturday morning now, actually. Appreciate you guys. We're going to the top. ASST, yeah, you just needed to long that, Carter. And what was the other one? NVVE? No, that one dumped. NXTT. NXTT, that's all you had to do, Carter. Look, easy. Easy. Just join my chat room, dude. Like, long NXTT at like 30 cents. Sell it at $5. Like, join my chat room, dude. 10 easy payments of $19.99. Free 7-day trial. Work in progress, absolutely. But you do like shorting. I mean, shorting's amazing with C-Pro. I'm sure you have found that being amazing. You can pretty much short anything, and it's very cheap if it's not easy to borrow already. You don't have that locate service charge. The per share rate, it is great. But guys, why am I in such a good mood? Am I in a good mood for having a red week this week? Well, let's just say I trust myself. I do trust myself to do what's in the best interest of my account. And I think you will too. If you are managing your risk well, you're allowing your winners to run, and you're doing what the average trader is not doing, having uncommon patience and uncommon discipline. You don't know which trades are going to work out, so don't kid yourself. You don't know which trades are going to work out. You're trading the distribution and the probabilities. So manage the risk well. I, for one, set stops. I set stops because I don't know what the hell Trump's going to tweet, and then the market's going to skyrocket. I need my stops to be in place so I get stopped out in case that happens. And I've seen it happen a few times over the last few weeks. So I set hard stops so I can trust myself with those. I set them as pretty much immediately upon entry. and then trying to size into the winners and letting the winners run. Letting the winners run. So don't kid yourself, guys. I mean, you got to remain disciplined. Everybody's got a different kind of edge. I'm not going to tell you how to trade. That's not the thing I'm going to tell you. You're not going to find that in here. I'll tell you how I trade if you want to know. But what I'm not going to tell you is buy here or sell there. It's not going to happen. Everybody's got a different edge and strategy. And honestly, there's different ways of making money in trading. So I've seen it. People have different edges. Maybe you short sell the descending triangle. Maybe you buy the bull flag dip or buy the ABCD pattern. There's so many different edges in trading. And I don't think it's a bad thing to actually trade multiple edges. It's like at the poker table. If you apply risk to more than just the pocket pair ace hand. I like to use the pocket pair ace analogy, but if you have a decent hand outside of that, why not apply some risk on the table? You're never going to reap the favorable outcome of that hand if you don't apply risk. That's the same thing in trading. You're never going to reap the favorable outcome of that trade if there's no risk applied. Maybe it's not the best hand in trading, but maybe it still is a hand. So I'm fine taking multiple edges. It's okay by me. It doesn't bother me at all. I like the hangovers probably the most in my trading. That's a good setup for me. But I don't mind taking the bear flag, bull flag, whatever. I'm about to pass out too, Carter. Thank you ever so much for everything. Absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in on this Friday night. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Dream about tickers tonight. I said tickers, not strippers. Always on our mind. We're degenerates in here. This is what we do. Emmanuel back in the building. Emmanuel, how'd your week go? Hope your week went better than my week. Do you set stops based on account percentage? Yeah. I've been setting the stops pretty much via the 2% rule. I don't want to lose more than 2% on the account per trade. So $1,000 small account, I don't want to lose more than $20 per trade. I've been pretty much sizing up accordingly for that. So before I get into a trade, I'll look at Keith. Keith is always showing up in here at a random time after hitting his bong. He'll have delivered Amazon packages to like 100 houses and then be like, "Yo, I just hit my bong. What's going on?" It'll be like the middle of the trading day, and Keith is like, "Just woke up from my nap, hit my bong." Keith is always hitting that bong. I know that. Yeah, so Emmanuel, hopefully that makes sense. I try to keep that consistent. Look, there is an argument, Emmanuel, for applying more risk to the better hands. I mean, I just gave the poker analogy. So if you I would say this for the very experienced trader. What they're going to do is they're going to know what, based on experience, because experience is your best teacher. So based on your experience, if you identify an edge that is a higher probability of a favorable outcome than not, what they're going to do is apply more risk to that hand. So pocket aces, very good hand, favorable hand, applying more risk. Same thing in trading. I've seen experienced traders, they'll do that. They'll apply more risk to the better hands. I've been trying to keep it fairly consistent across the board for the small account because honestly, I just don't have much margin for error. So that's the reason for that too. MG, going to bed. Man, it's like, what, 4:30 your time? Thanks for everything. Have a great weekend. Thanks, MG. I appreciate you always. MG, man, he's loyal in here. I'm excited for you, MG. You've been doing very well. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you hanging out. And we'll see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend. About to head out here as well. So let me know if you guys have any additional questions. Just not the same weed as the 60s. I need to listen to the market and not myself. Well, that sounds like you need to be smoking something a little stronger to get in tune with the market. Keith, you just jumped in here when I'm about to pass out, too. Any questions at all? Before we hit it off and get ready for Monday morning. It's very important to listen to yourself, though. After a while of trading, get that intuition. Look at this Photoshop we were messing with earlier, Keith. All right, let me do this. Just for Keith's sake, let me put a bong in my hand. So just type in on Photoshop, generative AI. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. Now you can see it. All right, put a bong in my hand. Oh my God. You gotta do an Amazon run at 3:30, and it's 9 o'clock there, right? 9 p.m. at Emmanuel and Keith, 9 p.m. God, dude, I wanna. It's not doing the bong. Let's just try a cigarette. A cigarette's probably gonna work. Oh God. Look, there's Keith. What is going on? Maybe this generative AI ain't really working out tonight. This guy's smoking out of his nose. This is too funny, though. Yeah, we were messing with this when we first got on the stream. This Photoshop. It's just generative AI. One of them had me put a sombrero on my head. That's too funny. French inhale. There you go. Yeah. How do you guys like the trading on the West Coast? I wonder. I mean, 87. So you guys are trading what, 6:30 a.m. That actually sounds fairly conducive with the family to knock the trading out by like 9:30, 10 o'clock. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think you prefer the West Coast trading? It is very early, but nice before work. Yeah, because some, like, they'll have they will trade before, they actually go to work. Man, dude, this WeBuy sold from $28 down to $11. See, that is the short I need in my life. That is the short I need in my life. Yeah, how peaceful it is. It's probably as peaceful as tonight has been with this trading. There's no kids screaming and needing diaper changes and snacks and whatever they need. It's kind of nice. Quiet. I don't know how you guys are. I love being the only one awake in the house. Emmanuel works well for you. Have to get up early, but allows you to do my work in the morning. Yeah. And I know you work remotely at home too, so. And you got some kids too, don't you? You were saying you were reading them some bedtime stories the other night. So Emmanuel's pretty busy. Remote work, trading, family. There's a lot going on. It's a busy life. Country style, 4 a.m. Yeah, so with pre-market at 7. Yep. Yeah, I mean, the West Coast trading probably is not too bad, especially with, I mean, you just knock it out early, and then you have the whole day. Seriously, you're done trading at like, I mean, you could be done trading at 7:30 a.m., pretty much. I don't know. I could get down for that. I could get down for it. Yeah, we've had a pretty good night, guys. Let me know if there's any other questions. I'm about to dive into that bed back there in the background in just a few minutes. So let me know if there's anything else. Otherwise, we'll see you guys first thing Monday morning. Yeah, about 8 or 9. Man, Bob inspires me, dude. That guy. Bob, you still in here? He's into everything, man. Electrician, delivering pizzas, trading, just buying and selling stuff. Into his 40s too. I mean, I'm only 31 and feel pretty much. We won't go down that rabbit hole. I have a 5 and 3-year-old, so life is so busy. Bob Cameron. That's right. I gotta figure out. So Mother's Day is Sunday. Yeah. Any mothers in here? Any mothers in here? Mother Day traders. We probably have some. Come on. Don't be shy. I'm going to take my kid. So my wife's working tomorrow. I'm with the kids. I got to figure out what to get her. I have no idea. I mean, she's got the best gift of all, me, right? What else do I give her? I don't know. Any suggestions will help, and I probably need to write them down. My ass will forget about it. I gotta figure out something tomorrow, guys. Good, Emmanuel. At least you traded for 15 seconds today, and you were green. Good. I'm glad to hear that. So yeah, just a busy lifestyle. I hear it. I hear you. It's a busy life. They say like with I mean with parenting in general, once you become a parent, it's like I don't know, you learn a lot of humility, let's put it that way. You don't think less of yourself, but you think of yourself less. I think that's a good way of putting it. When you become a parent, you don't think less of yourself, you just think of yourself less. There's just there's a lot of needs. Tree Tran, what's going on? Haven't seen you in here before. What stock can I buy so it can skyrocket on Monday? Well, all right. I'll go over the tickers that did skyrocket today, but I'm not going to be the one telling you what's going to skyrocket. The ones that have potential for it are the Bitcoin related plays. So NXTT, ASST, which is still kind of in play. ASST is still kind of in play, and NXTT. And I don't know. That's pretty much it. Good luck. May the force be with you, good sir. Bitcoin related plays on those. Yeah, those two plays have just had Bitcoin related news and have seen irrational kind of movements. That's pretty much it, man, in the low float penny world. So yeah, ASST and NXTT. ASST. Am I on some Bitcoin? You're asking me like, is it a drug? Am I on that Bitcoin? Am I on that Bitcoin? That BTC, you got some of that good? Got some of that good up in there, that BTC? No, I'm not really your crypto guy. There's some better people out there for that. I just avoid the crypto stuff, so ASST is kind of in a head and shoulder-ish pattern. Not STD. Are you on oh, I see. Yeah, I focus equities and stocks, yeah. Crypto's a little too unpredictable for my taste. Guys, we can go all night if you guys want to. I mean, I'm just starting to... Tiredness is starting to kick up. The bourbon's getting to me. Mr. Jim Beam. 7 years. Figured I'd give her a try. So, I mean, 7 years is a fairly good age statement on this thing. I hadn't really seen this bottle much. 7 years, though. I figured I'd give her a try. She's not too bad. I wanted to just get a bottle that I was going to kill. I wasn't trying to get nothing, like, super fancy. I've gotten some fancy bottles, but I don't know. I was just getting something we could kill. Kill for some Friday night live streams. Tree Tran, what about AMD? Yeah, I mean AMD, Nvidia, what are they still moving together? AMD at 100. 76 is the low. Here, Tree Tran. Here's AMD. Trend has been broken towards the upside. Yeah, I think AMD is a good candidate for a swing play. Nvidia. I'd probably swing AMD over Nvidia. That's not a bad play. More of a swing trade there. Oh, Jason in the building. Jason was here last week. Jason, we're doing pretty good in here, man. It's been a good live stream. We've been getting a little faded at this point. We've been going for a few hours, but yeah, it's been a good live stream. We've had a lot of company in here. Last week was hot, man. Last week was good because we had so much. We just had so much vulnerability, and I think that's ultimately good for traders. I hate to see traders jumping in here and they are expecting to, they're expecting to just take their accounts from 3 figures to 6 figures. It's just not going to happen. So last week was very good in terms of that. We had a lot of traders, and my heart went out to those guys that have blown up so much, but it was a great stream for that. Market's been hot. Yeah, so it hadn't been hot in my direction. This week I was red, but it was manageable. Jason, the reason pretty much it was red is because I didn't press the other button. I was mainly short. I was sticking to my short ways this week, so I had a few trades, managed the red well. It is what it is. Really, the idea was there was so much hot momentum on the long side, and didn't necessarily get involved with those plays. I don't like to show up late to the party. If I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be like the first one knocking on the damn door, which is oftentimes a prediction. If you're the first one knocking on the long door, that's a prediction trade, which can be difficult. But how do you do, Jason? You pretty good this week? Tree Tran, Hims or Hood gonna blow up or blow down? Get in and then just get out. Yeah, it would have been green had I have done that. I don't know. We'll see what this week holds. I was trying to hold for the bigger moves and didn't do that. Ended up being red on them. Or like being green and trying to size into them, and then they curl around and stop me out. So Tree Tran Hims Hims is like a blacklist ticker for me. We can take a look at it. This one has such a high short interest, I just pretty much avoid it. It's kind of difficult to read. But if you look at FinViz, HIMS, we can go down. The short percent on that float is 33%. So it's a hard read. I mean, that's a high short percent interest. Yeah, all in, all out would be massive if I would have gone all in buying power and then all out. I mean, all the trades initially started pretty green. Would have been very good in green there, but I was looking for the bigger move, man. I need to think about that over the weekend. Hims 33.4% short interest. I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I don't know. I wouldn't say either way. It's an avoid for me. Let me put it that way. It's an avoid ticker for me. Tree Tran, but if you have to trade it, Hood as well. I wonder what the short interest here for Hood is. Hood looks like a long against 50. Hood looks like a long against 50. They're fairly identical charts. Let's look at the short interest on Hood. Yeah, HIMS I would probably avoid, man. I mean, otherwise take a long. For me, when I say look at this inverse head and shoulders on Hood, it looks beautiful. That inverse head and shoulders. You got the neckline. The shoulder line is like 46 to 35. Yeah, Hood's in a nice bullish pattern right now. I will say that. I think against 50. It's got a lower short float interest. So Hood I would be more convicted on taking a trade there. Tree Tran, Hood. I mean, this is like a swing idea. You know, I don't know about intraday, but swing idea Hood against 50 is not bad. 50 is a breakout area there. The inverse head and shoulders. HIMS I would avoid personally. It's kind of a tricky trade. But Jason, you were in was short one of the trades, and you were working some. Yeah. I can get the longs just scare me at this point too much, man. I've just seen. Let me show you. I've seen the elevator down moves so much that it's just I cannot reconcile with getting involved in a long. It just I'm so terrified when I get in on a long, but probably just from the trauma. Yeah, I got PTSD, man. When you first start trading, everybody longs everything, and you buy breakouts, buy dips, sell rips, but that also comes with going deer in headlights on some of these tickers. And I know the Bitcoin related plays, NVVE and ASST made massive moves. They were great. And they were kind of tricky, manipulative. ASST especially, on every time it looked like a good short, it pretty much was a good long. But when they're done, they're done. And so if I get involved with them, I need a tight, as you said, all in, all out. So tight stop. Like as soon as I get into it, put a great stop on it. No, not this week. Go out to the daily on the NVVE. Yeah, NVVE, it was at pretty much all-time lows, and I did notice all the upper wicks that the daily put in on it. And honestly, I was looking, Jason, for this $4 mark on it. I was getting tempted for a short up there. It topped out like 355, but this thing nearly got up to where all these upper wicks are here. Up and over $4. I probably would have just located this thing and shorted it. I was really liking it up there. And figured it would do what it did. I mean, when you get a lot of long traders excited like you did this past week on ASST, it's oftentimes not entirely. It's kind of like a trap for the rest of the week. It's hard to sustain those moves moving forward. Tree Tran, I can't invest on these small stocks. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's no investment. AXTT, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing AXTT. Different ticker symbol. PLTR, yeah, everybody's talking about PLTR. I don't have a ton of sound advice here. Well, I mean, what I have heard from some people in here is maybe it's getting a little overbought from the last couple of weeks, from 66 up to 117. So a couple of people suggested it's not a bad short against like 125 where it's double topped. That's pretty much all I got. You caught the short PLTR. Nice. Scalp them, Kevin. Oh, man. Scalping can hold. Yeah, but just get at the top. Smaller in size to handle the pullback. So, I got you. You're referencing the longs on those pullbacks. If you're trading the long trades, just get in smaller size. I can handle them emotionally if I get in small enough where I can handle the nasty pullbacks. Give it a little bit of room. Yeah, tree tram PLTR. That's pretty much what I've been seeing is likely she's going to come down off of 125. I think that's fair analysis there. I mean, it's almost like the rubber band effect. I mean, we went up pretty substantially from 66 up towards 125. I think that's fair analysis on it. But yeah, I mean, this is Jason. This NVVE. This is the kind of stuff that scares me. That's why I prefer just being short and reacting to the move versus trying to get in on a long when these things inherently are tricky as they are, especially the lower flow stuff. Yeah, but I know you're probably referencing most tickers out there in general were good longs this week. I mean, it was like a long. It was a bull week in general. That's why it was difficult for me. Just a bull week in general. ASST, I've gone over tonight too. Just a tricky trade. It was very trappy on the short side. But I recognize the problem with me, Jason, is I recognize how trappy it is, but I don't get involved in it on the long side. Like I see this descending triangle on Wednesday, and I see the snap, crack, under VWAP, heavy, and the zombie hour move that I made. But I don't know. I don't get involved with it. And then the next day, the following day, it snaps under VWAP again and becomes a great long under VWAP. You see the personality of how these things operate. And even today, under VWAP, it becomes a long. So I see these things, but just don't take the trades. Because I don't know. Just the fact that I think I'm just not a long trader anymore. I don't know. It's probably what it is. PLTR was in half size short, but knew there were buyers because it was a strong stock. It allowed you not to panic. Yeah, that's good. And I've gone over that too before, how share size is like the volume dial. It's the volume metric for your account. And if you turn it down, you're going to be able to hear yourself think. So that's why I like to say that even being in larger size is not necessarily good. Because you get in larger size, but then that's going to increase your volume dial on your trading. And it's going to cause you to not be able to hear yourself think. It's going to cloud your judgment, and you're going to make mistakes that you actually wouldn't make otherwise if you ran with a smaller share size. So ultimately, it may even itself out if you were in PLTR half share size and let the thing work. Because I'll tell you this, if I was in full share size and it's chopping around right near my entry, my judgment's going to be clouded, and I'm probably going to make a mistake I otherwise wouldn't make and take it too early or stop out too quick. Things like that. Hopefully that makes sense. BTSG. BTSG looks heavy against 24.20. That would be my stop on it. 52-week high, 24.20. I see a recent upper shadow there, 42.20. So I'd be short against 42 or 24.20 with Profit target's not great. I see pretty much support down right at and under 22. So I would need to move a little. The risk reward is not favorable enough for me to get involved at this point. I would need to move on up a little closer to 24 to get involved with that on a short. Traders, anything else before we wrap up? I gotta get up early. I'm running out of steam over here. We've been going since 10 o'clock, about 3 hours here. Good live stream though. Love the Friday night live streams. You guys are showing up and getting some good analysis and good tips, tricks, and to work on our accounts to start Monday. So I'm about to head out here. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you guys for tuning in, though. We'll see you guys first thing Monday morning. I'll be live. Monday morning for the live stream. Can you tell me what stock can skyrocket on Monday? I can't tell you that. Tree Tran. I mean, the leading plays have been in the Bitcoin space. Has been AST and NXTT. That's all I can really tell you there. But there's no crystal ball here. I mean, we talk about high probability setups, but there's no crystal ball into that. And don't buy into anybody that says otherwise, that there is a crystal ball that tells you what's going to go up or down. We trade the probabilities. Jason, you'll be checking in during the week. Salute. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. And Emmanuel, enjoy your weekend. Likewise. Keith, night. Yeah, we'll see you guys Monday morning. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night and a good weekend, guys.